Welcome to Real Estate Exposed, helping people in San Diego buy, sell, and refinance their biggest investment, delivering you timely truths, exposing important issues, and helping you get into the right home. Here are your hosts, real estate expert Daniel Beer, top-ranked professional by sales volume at one of San Diego's largest brokerages, and his mortgage partner, Todd Pianin, with over $2 billion in funded loans.
Yo, what's going on? How are you? It's fun to be here with you on another show here on Real Estate Exposed on News Radio 600 KOGO. I'm your host, Daniel Beer. Beer spelled just like the drink, with Windermere Homes and Estates, Daniel Beer, the Daniel Beer Group, and our mortgage expert and esteemed co-host,
Todd Pianin from Home Street Bank. That's Todd Pianin. You can always find me at tntmtg.com. It's a wonderful day to be here. You know why I'm so excited to be here? You know why I'm so excited to be here, Dan?
Shut up, Todd.
Don't say that on the radio, Dan. What was your prediction for the Super Bowl? And those of you who were listening last week, Dan and I made a bet. And what was that bet we made, Dan?
Well, I thought Todd might wake up and not remember the bet, but he did remind me that we aired it on radio all across San Diego County. So it looks like I'm on the hook. Apparently, if you want, we'll announce where we'll be. But I have to take Mr. Pianin out to dinner to a nice place. And I apparently am going to be wearing nothing but a vest.
No T-shirt underneath. You'll have pants on, so I know you ladies out there who've always wanted to see what's underneath Dan Beer's pants. That won't happen, but we will have him in a vest with no T-shirt, so you'll be able to see how ripped he truly is not. So I am super excited. Dan thought the Seattle Cam Newton train was going to win, and guess what? Cam, not so good this weekend. It was actually a pretty boring Super Bowl, Dan.
So if you were with us last week here on the show, I did take the Panthers in the Super Bowl. Todd took the Broncos, and yes.
And I took them without points. And Dan even made, if you listened to the show last week, and you can find us on iTunes as a podcast, you can find us on Real Estate Exposed. You could hear last week's show. Dan was like giving me a lot of junk about the fact that it was too late for me to get the point spread, which, by the way, at that time it was Denver plus 5.5. They still beat them by 5.5, Dan. They still beat them by 5.5.
Listen, is this a real estate show or a show where we just bash on me?
This is a show about me beating you in a bet, finally, because Dan Beer always seems to win. He's one of the best realtors out there I know, and he always wins.
Oh, man.
But this is a time that I get to celebrate, and I hope you don't mind, Joe, but you're going to come to that dinner, right?
Yeah, I'd love to. You guys are going to a nice dinner, so I'm actually looking to see if Red Lobster will let you in without an undershirt on.
Joe, if you're coming, you're paying. But you know who else or what else is getting beat down right now? Just what else is taking an absolute beating, just like I did, just like the Panthers, or just like I did in that bet, just like the Panthers did. Interest rates. All right, interest rates aren't always the most exciting conversation, but as you're joining us here on Real Estate Exposed here on News Radio 600 KOGO, interest rates are taking a beating as the 10-year note is the rate on the yield on the 10-year note is plummeting. For those of you that know, the way that mortgage rates are established, they're based on the 10-year treasury rate. Bond yields are dropping, and rates are as good as you have seen them in months and months and months, if not years. Todd, there is a moment in time here where if you're selling and looking to move into a purchase and then lock in a rate that even a month ago we didn't think would be available, holy smokes, I can't believe what's going on right now.
So I just want to say this, and I'm going to say this one time, and I'm only going to give myself this one plug. If you have bought a house in the last 6 months, if you have refied in the last 6 months, you need to call us right away. You need to call Taisha and I, because we can refinance you. We can get it done, guaranteed. at a lower interest rate than you're at right now.
So you drop their payment.
We'll drop their payment.
What would that cost somebody to do?
It probably zero. It could be zero cost.
There's various programs.
Based on their details. Also,
and they get to choose.
But if you bought a house 4 or 5 months ago and you did a Fannie Mae conventional loan, there's no seasoning requirement. So what that means basically is that if your property has gone up in value and you're paying mortgage insurance, then we may be able to even save you money on the mortgage insurance. So it's a no-brainer. You need to call us. What I would suggest you do is you call. I'm going to give them out the 800 number. Is that good? So they can call our 800 number, 800-676-2420. Say, I need to speak with Todd and Taisha right away about refinancing. You can call. You can go to tntmtg.com. You can find Taisha and my contact information now. But this is what I'm telling you, an unbelievable time, and you need to do something about it.
When I as a real estate agent, when I'm starting to get a lot of phone calls from past clients about refinancing, and I'm thinking, why are you calling me about refinancing? I don't do loans.
Right.
When the refinancing phone calls are coming to me, that's when I knew, there's really something going on here. And of course, we refer those calls out to people that we trust, like yourself, Todd. It's pretty amazing. I was literally sitting with somebody at dinner just this last Friday, where they purchased their home about a year ago. They can literally drop their rate by about a half point.
Yep.
It's an interesting moment in time, and definitely reach out. And remember that if you're thinking, I want to take advantage of those rates, but I first have to sell my home, and how do I get the timing to work around the two? Well, controlling both sides of that, of the equation, controlling how do you get the timing of a purchase and sale when they need to work hand in hand? How do you get those to work in your advantage where you can still control both ends of the transaction and not put your deposit at risk? That's something that we can go through with you step by step. There are ways in which you can keep control of both sides of the equation. And that is something that we'd be available to discuss and answer for you at the home selling workshops coming up. Look, they're coming up next week. They're coming up next week, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So the first workshops are literally 2 days from now, starting Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday. We're going to be in Rancho Bernardo. We're going to be in Carlsbad, and we're going to be in Mission Valley. We're going to have lunchtime and after work. Lunchtime, we're serving lunch, courtesy of Todd Pianin and Home Street Bank. You want to be at the workshops if you're thinking about selling your home in the next 12 months. If you want to take advantage of today's interest rate environment, and if you're looking to net upwards of $62,000 more on the sale of your home, and specifically if you want to understand what activities, what specific steps need to be implemented into the home sale process in order to have your home sold within 5 days of going on the market. Give us a shout and get your free tickets. A few of our times and locations are booked, but we still have a few available. And so the phone number for those free tickets is 800-676-2420. That's 800-676-2420. Or you can visit San Diego Workshops, that's plural, SanDiegoWorkshops.com. That's SanDiegoWorkshops.com.
I mean, these seminars are a can't miss, people.
Well, do you realize who's promoting them or who's endorsing them?
Well, we've got George Chamberlain endorsing them. We got Jeff.
We have Jesse Lozano right here from the iHeartMedia family endorsing the workshops. Some of San Diego's biggest local celebrities.
Some of San Diego's biggest local celebrities. I would agree, but I have to tell you, this is our third round of workshops, and they just keep getting better. And the information that we're getting out to the public is changing the way real estate's being conducted. It's unbelievable, Dan. It's unbelievable, the free information and the education that you give people and the tools that you're giving these people to sell their homes better. It's just mind-boggling.
Well, something I haven't told you yet, Todd, is that George Chamberlain right here from KOGO, San Diego's money man, George Chamberlain, he's actually going to be joining us on Thursday, February 18th at the Carlsbad Lunchtime Workshop.
Nice.
He'll be there to introduce it. He'll be there to meet with you. Any of you visiting and coming to the workshops, he'll be able to meet with you, chat with you, answer questions, talk market, talk shop. George Chamberlain in person, February 18th at the Carlsbad edition of our workshops, 12:15 noon. Give us a shout if you want those free tickets. They're yours, so long as we still have availability, as we do for some of our locations. And the phone number's 800-676-2420. Coming up next, we're going to discuss a little bit about what's going on with New Hampshire.
I want to talk about the New Hampshire primary, Dan. We have to talk about that.
And there's a plea that I'm going to make for any of you. We're going to put out a special opportunity for any of you looking to purchase a home or sell a home in certain locations. That's coming up next. Hey, welcome back to the show. This is Real Estate Exposed, and happy Valentine's Day to you, by the way. We missed that in the last segment. We hope you have a very, very romantic evening tonight. Treat your lady the right way.
What do you do?
Ladies, treat your man the right way.
Do you have a surprise for Liat tonight, or what are you doing?
Well, actually, I'm really excited to tell you that tonight is actually my brother's wedding. So we're going to be at the RBN for my brother's wedding. He's 4 years younger than me. I couldn't be prouder of him. His wife is just an excellent, beautiful woman. We're so excited to have her as part of the family. Ari, Ashley, we love you, and we're excited to be with you tonight. You're getting married on Valentine's Day. That is so cool.
That's awesome.
And by the way, thank you so much for giving me something to do on Valentine's Day, so I didn't have to come up with it myself.
That's perfect. You get dressed. you and Liat get dressed up, and it's going to be good.
Yeah, so that's going to be great. But we wish all of you a really wonderful and special evening as well.
Congratulations to you, Ari. Super happy for you. Helped Ari get into his home, his new home that he's sharing with his beautiful new wife. So I'm super excited.
You did finance that.
Yep. So happy for them. So, boys, let's talk about the New Hampshire primary for a minute. Can we do that?
Sure.
Okay.
Let's do it.
So let's talk Democrat first, because let's just talk Democrat first. Bernie Sanders won New Hampshire. How do we feel about Bernie there, Joe?
Well, I think that it's interesting in the sense that New Hampshire has always been very kind to the Clintons. And
Right.
in 1992, that was when, the whole, quote, comeback kid came for Bill Clinton.
Right.
With what he did in New Hampshire. So it's interesting to see what happened in New Hampshire for Bernie Sanders, being that New Hampshire has always been a very Clinton-friendly state.
It was also friendly for Obama too, right?
It was.
So it kind of what started the whole steamroll of the Obama administration was when he won New Hampshire, right? Am I correct on that?
Yeah, correct.
So what do you think about socialism Bernie there, Dan?
Is it different than social Obama?
Way different. If you go to Bernie Sanders' website and put in your income and see how much less disposable income you're going to have, you will be completely shocked. I honestly, maybe I'm turning a blind eye, but I don't see this being sustainable, Todd. It's not. I don't see Bernie being able to carry all the way through. In fact, I think it'd be positive for the GOP if Bernie was the candidate. Right.
To me, that would be a very welcome result. Here's the reality: is it's still so early in the process. There's still so much is going to change. Hillary, she's going to come out swinging.
I understand that, but
Big time.
You got to remember that it was Iowa, right, and New Hampshire. Bernie did great. He only lost by 1 percentage point in
That's
Iowa.
right. That's true.
And he won New Hampshire. So now Democratic money, because Bernie's been struggling for cash. I think money's going to start flowing Mr. Bernie's way. And Mr. Bernie, which should be great for the GOP, by the way, if Mr. Bernie becomes the nomination.
I think that'd be wonderful.
Yes. So, okay. Now,
by the way, I just have to ask, did you guys catch the skit? If you haven't seen this out there, and go out and Google Bernie Sanders Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Oh, it's called
fantastic.
Burn Your Enthusiasm.
Burn Your Enthusiasm.
BERN, right? Yeah. Burn Your Enthusiasm.
It's so funny.
I haven't watched it yet, but I've seen it all over the internet.
It's fantastic. The guy really does remind me of Mr. Larry David.
So let's talk about making America great again. My man came through. Marco Rubio fell flat on his face after winning Iowa. I mean, he
won Iowa.
Won Iowa, right, Joe? So, but Trump stomped the competition by 10 points, right? I mean,
no, more than that. It was 19 points.
Oh my goodness,
a little more, but he was projected at 20 points.
But still, I mean, there's a little right. I mean,
right there is. I think that the biggest issue that is going to face Trump is how organized is he going to be in his campaign. Now, Donald Trump has certainly had all of his rallies and he's gathered this ton of attention, but is he going to convert that to voters, which is something that you saw in Iowa that didn't work out well. Trump stole the spotlight and got all of the media attention, and yet
except Dan and I both agree that he didn't win Iowa because he didn't do the GOP debate.
I definitely think that affected him. But here in New Hampshire, you see the theme of the entire campaign going back a year.
Right.
Come through.
Right.
And that is of America rejecting the established, political, framework and families in Washington, just saying no to them and saying yes to new. Bernie does represent that on the Democrat side.
Oh, yes, he does. He'll turn us into a socialistic nation, and that agreed. I mean, more socialistic than we are today.
But you could see that both sides are looking for new.
Right.
And Trump and Bernie coming through. I mean, let's rewind 24 months. And if we were sitting around having a beer and I told you there's a man named Donald Trump, there's another man named Bernie Sanders, and they're going to wipe the floor with New Hampshire. What would you have thought of?
No way.
You would have said I was crazy.
I would say it's going to be a Clinton wipeout. I mean, I think that's what I would say.
But
you too, Joe?
Well, I mean, exactly. I thought that there was no chance that Hillary wasn't going to run away with it. I mean, she's still got a ton of super delegates compared to Bernie Sanders. But,
right.
It's 395 and you need 23-28 to win. So
right.
It's a long ways away, like Dan was saying. My concern with
Super Tuesday's coming up.
Super Tuesday is coming up. My concern with Trump is, how would Trump do with female voters, minority voters? Has he pigeonholed himself in any way?
They keep coming out in droves, and I mean, Ivanka Trump is I have to tell you, is a force to be reckoned with, and he has allowed her to sprout and be successful on her own. And if I'm a young woman out there in the world and I want to idolize a woman, I mean, to me, to have him as my father, to show the respect that he has for women with Ivanka, by letting her run, a couple of his companies. Plus, she's a mom, and she's got 2 kids. And Dan and I talked about a couple weeks ago, she even converted to Judaism for her husband. I mean, I think, and she's out stumping for him. So, I mean, she's kind of a winner. I mean,
look, coming back to America as a whole in this political climate wants to reject what we've always had in the norm. That's clear. And you're listening to Real Estate Exposed, okay? With Daniel Beer and Todd Pian.
I got to put one pitch in. Trump wins. Great for real estate, people. Great for real estate. But one thing you need to know about real estate is what, Dan?
Well, just like America's rejecting the established political environment that we've always had with the same players, with the same plan, with the same rhetoric, well, that's exactly what home sellers are starting to come into and realize. That is exactly what the San Diego home selling workshops are all about. If you've ever sold a home and thought, boy, I thought there might be more to it. I thought there might be more strategy, more process, more thought. If you're about to sell a home and are thinking, I've seen this happen, or I remember when I was buying, and it just seemed like, man, that was very simplistic. Is that really the best way to maximize the value of a multi-$100,000 asset, to just throw some photos online and sit around waiting for a showing? If you've been looking for a better way and a smarter strategy than the methods used by traditional agents, the San Diego home selling workshops are coming up starting this Tuesday. They're offered in Carlsbad, Rancho Bernardo, and Mission Valley to have a time and a location convenient to you, and it's where you're going to learn a very different process than the methods used by traditional agents. If you are looking for a predictable way to sell your home within 5 days of going on the market and for top dollar, and you want to understand how to use buyer psychology in your favor to create a negotiating advantage? Then stay with us for the next segment and make sure you call in for your free tickets. The number's 800-676-2420. That's 800-676-2420, and more on that coming up.
Welcome back. This is KOGO 600 AM Real Estate Exposed with Dan Beer from the Dan Beer Group and Windermere Homes and Estates, and myself, Todd Pianin from Home Street Bank, TNTMTG.com. You can follow us on Facebook. We are back. Happy Valentine's to all you Valentines today. We're super excited to be here with you. But what we're going to start off this week, something completely new. What I want to do is that Joe and Dan are both, got tons of listings, and what we're going to talk about right now is some needs, basically, right? Some things, some opportunities.
We're going to throw out an opportunity to all of you listeners. If you're thinking about buying a home in a number of different parts of town, we're going to spend no more than 2 minutes. Okay, so we're going to make this very quick. But we're going to quickly let you know about properties that we know are for sale. We're prepping them as we speak to have them go through the 5-day blitz marketing process. But as a special listener of the show, we want to give you a shot at a Daniel Beer Group listing in different parts of town. Inventory all over San Diego is limited. There's very little actually out there. Buyers are frustrated. Buyers, are often having to compete with multiple offers. So we're going to give you an opportunity to know about property that no one else yet knows about. Starting off, with a property in Del Sur. If you know anybody in Del Sur, we have recently taken on, this is actually a super hot community, smoking hot. We've taken on 2 listings very recently, within the last 10 days, that are coming to market, though they're not yet on MLS. They're being prepped. If you know
Del
anybody,
Sur is a hot neighborhood right now.
Super hot. And if you know anybody that's thinking about moving into the neighborhood, have them reach out to the Daniel Beer Group. You can find us, just Google us, Daniel Beer Group. You can also, of course, call 800-676-2420. But just Google us. You'll find us. If you know anybody that's moving into Forest Ranch, we have 2 properties coming to market there. They're not yet on MLS. If you know anybody that is looking for a really beautiful luxury property in Ramona with a view looking over the San Pasqual Valley, they need to reach out to us. We have an amazing property not yet on MLS. We have in Carmel Valley a property coming up at Palacio Del Mar, a highly coveted gated community at a good price point. If you know anyone thinking about Carmel Valley, Palacio Del Mar, have them reach out to the Daniel Beer Group and tell them that you're looking for the new Palacio Del Mar listing that's not yet on MLS. And finally, if you know anybody thinking about a home in El Cajon, we have an incredible property coming up on Peach Avenue, north of the 8, pushing up there into the Bostonia neighborhood. It's an awesome place, and that property's coming to market. Let me tell you something about this home. It has what you would think would be a kitchen in an $800,000 home, maybe $1 million home. This home is coming to market at $400,000, and it is the most beautifully upgraded kitchen you'll see at this price point, period. We have others. We can't take up all our airtime on this, but we did want to let you know, in case you know anybody considering these neighborhoods, let's get them ahead of the market. Todd, what else do you have going on as interest rates continue to fall?
I mean, all I can tell you is that we're getting calls from people who are purchasing homes right now and want to refinance. And because values have popped up, in November, we saw the median price index go up in November for all of San Diego County. We're actually removing mortgage insurance for people who had FHA loans. We're doing first and second combinations. I mean, we're helping people all across the county from, $175,000 purchase to right now we're working, we also have clients who are purchasing in the multi-million-dollar range. We've got a range of products. The really cool thing, Dan, that's going on for us that, is not happening for a lot of other lenders is we're not having any issues closing on time or getting things done.
That's an understatement, Todd. You guys are killing it with your timing. Killing it.
I mean, we just don't play games, and we just know how to do it, and the customer's always right. And, I just, All I can tell you is we always, Taisha and my policy, and that's at tntmtg.com, or you can find us on Facebook, Real Estate Exposed, Todd and Taisha, whatever you want to do. But we always do the right thing by our clients. And even if you call me up, as Dan has said to you in the past, and you've got a good interest rate, or you've searched around and someone's offered you a good interest rate, we'll tell you that's a great deal. Go there. Here's some of the issues that may happen, but we, because we do so much business, we know our competitors, we know what they're offering, but we also know if they can close when they say they can close.
So I want to talk about something and expose one of the truths and busts of real estate. This is Real Estate Exposed. We named the show Real Estate Exposed for a particular reason, because you're here with me, Daniel Beer of the Daniel Beer Group, and Todd Pianin of Home Street Bank. We do, frankly, a much larger volume of business than the normal agent out there. And to be frank, it would take most about 30 years to do what we would do in a typical year. The reason I'm sharing that with you is because we get exposed to a lot, and we come across more than, very interesting situations, and we get told all kinds of stories and all kinds of different we see what a lot of sellers out there are pitched by other agents. So something I want to expose: when you're told by your client, by your agent, because here, that what they do or how much they sell, or I dominate this neighborhood, or I'm the neighborhood expert, or they seem to be because they have a bunch of park benches. I want you to be aware of what you should do. Here's what you need to hear from your real estate agent, and what you need to see from your real estate agent, particularly your listing agent. When they make that kind of claim, which is okay for them to make, so long as it's true, I would demand to see the proof. Let's see the proof. And you should know that it's very easy for them to do that. I would ask them to simply open up a computer and just show you on MLS. They can simply type their name into a field that's called List Agent. In that field, if they just simply type their name in, and they can say, let me see every home where I have represented the seller or the buyer, whatever it is you're interested in, over the course of the last 12 months. And I would demand that they show you. And I only bring this up because there are too many people out there making claims such as, within the top 5% or within the top 10%. And you need to understand that the grand majority of the business is done within within a very, 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 very small percentage of agents out there. And it's so easy to say within the top X percent of, but of what? Right? I'm the top, I'm in the top 5%. Of what? Of agents in my office, of agents in the country, of agents in a zip code, of agents in a neighborhood, of agents that only sell homes up to a certain price point, of agents with red hair, of agents with, that are 6'3" and weigh a particular weight. Of what? And the good news is that it's very easy to get the truth. Just ask them to show you. And any agent that has nothing to hide from you will very well show you. So that's something that I just suggest, because at the end of the day, you're selling your home and you expect it sold for the most the market will bear and in the least amount of time. And that leads me to another principle that we discuss at the home selling workshops, but that I want to discuss with you here right now. It's a very logical and simple principle, but it's something that people often miss. Todd, you've seen a lot of you've been out there and you've sold a home.
Yes.
You've sold several homes.
Multiple homes, yes.
There's the tendency for a home seller to say to themselves, you get an offer, and there's a tendency for a home seller to say, well, maybe there's a better one tomorrow. Is this the best offer I'm going to get? And perhaps there's a better, especially if that offer comes quick.
Right.
That tendency where you think there might be a better offer the next day.
Yeah, you think that something, as a seller, you kind of go, oh, you got that offer for me so fast, there must be, maybe we put it on the market too cheap.
Exactly. So what we need to understand is that there is no power for a seller in the long term.
Explain what you mean by that.
80 days into a listing, 100 days into a listing, 6 months into it,
you're stale.
You have no power.
Right.
Going back to day one, you've just come on the market. That's when you have the most power. On day 2, you have slightly less. It's very little less, hardly noticeable, but it's nevertheless a little bit less.
1%.
The next day, you have a little bit less. Every passing day on the market when you're selling your home, you have less power. You have less power because every single day on the market is a day you've proven to the world that you're not worth your price.
So what does the disruptor do about that?
And
I say disruptor because I'm talking about the Daniel Beer Group. I'm talking about Daniel Beer Group at Windermere Homes and Estates. I'm talking about the disruptor of real estate, and he's come out with an unbelievable program, unbelievable system. So what does the disruptor do, Dan?
That's what the spirit and the heart of the 5-day blitz is built to combat against that. What you need to understand is that your power is dissipating day by day by day. So we need to have a process and a strategy that, in our case, what we've done is that, and this is what we teach at the workshop, so you can actually implement this for yourself with whoever you want to use. When you have a process and a strategy to get the answer from the market on day 5, to get the entire market activated, competing, and presenting you with either offers or with feedback on day 5, you have a huge market advantage. Now, we prefer to have offers because if we do, then great, right? We're done. But if we have feedback on day 5 and the degree and quantity and quality of feedback that it would typically take somebody 60, 90 days to acquire, and we have all that condensed into day 5 feedback from the entire marketplace, well, now you have a huge market advantage where you know exactly where you stand and what you need to do to have the home sold. We're going to jump into this principle in more detail, but this is why, and this is at the heart of what the workshops are about.
I have one question for you when we come back, Dan, about that.
We want to have you there. If you want your free tickets, and we'll talk about this more coming out of the break, those tickets are 800-676-2420. These are the same San Diego home selling workshops endorsed by your own George Chamberlain right here on KOGO. The phone number is 800-676-2420. And we're going to dive in much deeper here coming out of the break. Oh, Mike, I like that song.
That's a great song, Mike.
Woo! I like that.
It's perfect for Valentine's Day.
And Mike is a love machine.
He is a love machine. For all you ladies out there.
Our producer, Mike, wow.
He's a love machine.
Hey, welcome back to the show. This is Real Estate Exposed. I'm Daniel Beer with Todd Pien. What's going on, Todd?
So my question to you, Dan, after doing these home seller seminars, we've done them twice already. It's our 3rd one. We're going to be doing them every other month. I'm super excited about that. But have you gotten calls from realtors after doing the home seller seminars, like people they've gone on listings and like have demand the clients who went to our seminar or heard about our seminar or heard from a friend and like are demanding more from their realtor?
But have I gotten calls from realtors, you're asking?
I'm asking you from realtors. Like, as a realtor called you up and go, Dan, you do so much for these people.
No. No, I can't say I have gotten that call from any real. But it's about creating that advantage.
Which you do.
It's about having here, why do you put your home on the market?
To sell it.
Right. But at the core of, it's a marketing process. And the goal of the marketing process, and really here's what you're doing when you're choosing an agent. You're choosing their process. Your agent doesn't determine the price, that doesn't change the market dynamics. That's not what the agent does. Okay, there's certain things that your buyer has access to, certain, home sales, the comparable sales, all that, the comps. It's what anyone ever talks about. It's the comps and the comps. Okay, well, your buyer has access to those. The other agent has access to those. You have access. The appraiser has access. Everyone has access. And yet, interestingly, not every home sells for the same price. You might be in a neighborhood where it's a planned community. And there's Plan 1 and Plan 2 and Plan 3. Interestingly, they don't all sell for the same price. You might be in a condo complex or a building, and there's the same floor plan. You're in, your stack is all the same plan. Yet they don't, interestingly, all sell for the same price. The key when you're hiring your agent is to choose somebody that has a process and a strategy that will deliver you an answer from the market. Who you don't want to be, you don't want to be Mr. Seller out there 100 days later wondering who's going to show up and why am I still on the market and, oh boy, what should we do? Maybe is it price or what? And you're just guessing at it.
So, Dan, how many stale listings are on the market right now? When I say stale, I mean that, over, throw out a number. You think that there's probably people on the market that have been sitting there for 180 days?
Honestly, it's not something that I've looked at to figure out how many listings have been out there for that long. I'd like to, if I were to throw out a guess, I'd say it's about 1,000.
Okay, and what's the average time of your listings on the market?
About 20 days.
20 days?
But it's about creating a process that gives you an answer from the market. What you do with all that data that everybody has access to, that is what you hire your agent on. That's what the process is for. When you put your home on the market, do you understand the absorption rate? Do you understand, you understand the list of sales price ratios and virtual positioning? Do you understand what your price strategy is doing for you or not doing for you and how it plays in with the rest of the strategy? This is what we talk about. Here it is. And this is it. If you're thinking about selling your home in the next 12 months, and you want to learn the following, if you want to know how to make upwards of an extra $62,000 on the sale of your home.
For free.
Yep, absolutely. And make that using the 5-day blitz process, which we teach you. If you want to know how to sell your home within 5 days of going on the market for top dollar, if you want to use buyer psychology in your own favor in order to create a negotiating advantage, and if you're curious as to which home improvements you should do or not do when preparing your home for sale, we go into detail on that. We go into detail on staging techniques that will earn you more and net you more money. How to win with presentation, and really what is it you need to know about price, because price is one of the least relevant things in your home sale. The tickets are free. We're looking forward to having you. They're coming up this coming week. The number is 800-646-4977. Again, 800-646-4977, and we can't wait to have you.
Happy Valentine's Day. Todd Pianin from Home Street Bank, a member FDIC, equal housing lender, NMLS ID number 304014.
I'm Daniel Beer with the Daniel Beer Group. God bless you.